Darshan, or the vision of the divine, is such a simple technique. In these images are coded capabilities. These aren't simply drawings, but actually roadmaps to be able to elevate our vision. Bhagawan Vishnu appears standing on a lotus. Bhagawan Vishnu's skin is blue. Bhagawan Vishnu holds the shankha, the chakra, the mace. Why? In the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan speaks of karma yoga. And the one message that he keeps hammering back over and over again is it's not important what we do, it's the attitude in which those actions are done that matters. And the constant message is act without ego, act without attachments, overcome your limited identity. So if we're a newcomer, we can look at all of this and say, oh, that's all well and good, but if I had to overcome my ego, then why did Bhagwan give me an ego in the first place? This is what we're going to cover in today's video. Now, today's video is going to be a little technical, but I would encourage you to stick with it because there's a number of core important points that we're going to discuss that we don't normally discuss on YouTube. In addition to that, at the end, I will be revealing a foolproof process of manifestation using the divine themselves. So do stick around until the end. Now, when we ask ourselves, why did Bhagwan give me this ego? We assume that the ego came from Bhagwan. But the Shastras tell us, it's not the divine that gives us our ego. It is us, through the process of ignorance or Avidya, that choose to create an ego. When does this Avidya begin? Well, it's said to be beginningless. Just as in a dream, we can't point to the exact point at which the dream began, so too we cannot point to the exact point at which our ignorance began. However, the good news is that whilst we can't point its beginning, we can definitely bring it to its end. Prakrutev kriyamanani gunaif karmani sarvashah ahankara vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. All actions are performed in all cases merely by the qualities in nature, i.e. the gunas. He whose mind is deluded by egoism thinks that I am the doer. Now, if we say that we have created our own ignorance, then what is Bhagwan's role in all of this? Hindu philosophy is very precise. Now, the divine as Ishvara is tasked with creating a world in which we can expend our karmas. So our ignorance leads to karma, and Ishvara creates a world in which we can then spend that karma. Not just us, but everyone around us too are in this world to spend their karma. And not just humans, but even a plant, even a worm has a perfect system in which to expend their karma. If Ishvara is creating this perfect system to spend our karma, how does he do it? Where he does it with his power of Maya. Maya has two functions. Avarana Shakti, which is veiling the truth, and Vikshepa Shakti, which is projecting the untruth. So Ishvara needs this projecting power to create the world in which we exist. Now, how is this world created? The technical texts within Vedanta point to 24 factors that come together to create this manifest universe. This includes the 5 elements, it includes our 5 means of knowing, it includes our 5 organs of action. I won't go into that because already this technical video will become even more technical. But it's worth knowing that those 24 elements that come together to create this manifest world in which we all exist have 3 basic qualities or gunas. Those gunas are sattva, rajas and tamas. These are the gunas that Bhagwan refers to when he says all actions are performed merely by the gunas. He whose mind is deluded by egoism thinks that I am the doer. Now, the guna sattva stands for goodness. This guna is characterized by purity, by a desire to live a higher mode of life that contributes to our spiritual evolution. The guna called rajas is characterized by activity. This is the ambition that causes us to spend lots of karma within one lifetime itself. And the third one is tamas, which is characterized by rest on the one hand and inertia on the other. our lower qualities that hold us back can be said to be tamasic in nature. These gunas alone are what manifest as our bodies, our thoughts, our relationships, our company, our circumstances, and so on. So how do we overcome them? This is where Bhagavan advises, Tattvavittu mahabaho guna karma vibhagayoho guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. One who knows the truth about the divisions of these qualities or gunas and their functions, and he who knows that these gunas alone as senses move amidst gunas as objects, that person is not attached. Now, as a newcomer to spirituality, we may listen to this and think, well, that's all very good as high philosophy. But how do I, with my school, my college, my job, with my family, with my responsibilities, how am I to see this world as gunas alone interacting as gunas? Well, here is where we come to one of the most powerful techniques of clearing and elevating our vision. This technique goes back to the Vedas themselves, and it's so simple that we have practiced it all of our lives without even realizing it. The technique is called upasana, or more colloquially, it is simply known as darshan. Darshan, or the vision of the divine, is such a simple technique that we can undertake at home, at the temple, or even on our own by looking at an image of the Lord on our phones. In and through these images of the divine, whatever be the deity, are coded capabilities to see how the divine functions in this world. These aren't simply drawings, but actually roadmaps to be able to elevate our vision and give us awareness of how the divine operates. So if we take just one example, let's take the example of Bhagawan Vishnu. Every aspect of Bhagawan Vishnu's appearance is meant to direct us to a higher vision. Every aspect, if we are able to understand and live in our day-to-day lives, we will be able to attain the highest. So for example, Bhagawan Vishnu appears standing on a lotus. Now a lotus blooms in a mud pond but is never affected by it. It's able to rise above the mud and bloom. So too, we live in a world that's imperfect, but we can live in such a way that we're not touched by it. We can rise above it. Bhagawan Vishnu's skin is blue. That blue signifies the sky that is infinite. We don't know where it starts. We don't know where it ends. Similarly, the grace of the God, the presence of the Lord is so great. It is all-encompassing. We don't know where it starts and where it ends. Elevating our vision by looking at Vishnu in this way, we see that in his hands, Bhagawan Vishnu holds three objects. The chakra, or the discus, is meant to cut our attachments that hold us back. The discus that also circulates in a clockwise direction shows us the wheel of time. Ultimately, time consumes everything that we have and everything that we are. The mace that Bhagavan holds in his hand is meant to smash through any obstacles that we may face in our spiritual life. The shankha that Bhagavan holds represents an aspiration around how we should live our lives, where we empty ourselves entirely of our ego so that Bhagavan can then use us as an instrument of his activity. Just as he blows the conch shell, so too in our lives we can spread the message of goodness and positive impact. And with this higher vision, when we look at Bhagavan, the fourth hand blesses us. We get the blessings of the divine to live this higher way of life, this Gita way of life. Now, you may say, okay, Om, this is all very good, but you promised a way to manifest. How can we manifest? Now, in and of itself, through observing the divine in this way, we can manifest the higher qualities within us. But if we want to manifest even further, then the one thing that we need is money or artha. Now, how is money or artha personified in Hinduism? It's personified as Ma Shri Lakshmi. Where does Shri Lakshmi live? Ma Shri Lakshmi lives in the heart of Shri Vishnu, in the heart of Bhagavan Narayan. So if we want to get to the heart of Narayan, then we need to do Narayan Sewa or service. How do we do Narayan Sewa in the world? We do it by serving the world around, by Nara Seva. fact, even the word SEWA gives us an indication around this service. SE stands for serve, W stands for world, and A stands for around. So serve the world around. In this way, the cycles of service create the right conditions for our growth. In this spirit of service, all opportunities come. The right connections come our way. The right means start to manifest. And I'll tell you for a fact, as I started to approach my professional life with an attitude of Sewa, immediately the promotions came. Immediately the opportunities came. Immediately the uplifts came that enabled this Sewa that I am now able to bring to you. So if you are touched by this cycle of Sewa, by this message of selfless service, then can I ask you to subscribe to our channel? It's a small step for you, but has a huge impact for us. And if you've already subscribed, then why don't you share this video with family and friends? Because that will get them attuned to this message. And in the next video, when we start to explore the X factor of manifestation, they'll be able to benefit from it as well. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Dhumatkar, and I will see you again very soon with yet more wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita and from our Hindu dharma. Namaste.